So this is the Makani situations where he throws his headset on the table. So we'll start by looking at the actual action, and then I'll talk about what I think. So off the Lily, for anyone who's unaware, he has to, off this Lily here, he needs to hit Psychic Energy and a way to discard the Psychic Energy. So he draws the Psychic Energy, then he draws the Ultra Ball, and then he pops off, right? He still has actions to make. He doesn't just like win, like he still has actions to make here to like win the game. He's the Ultra Ball away the Psychic Energy, accelerate to the active Gardevoir, retreat to the Diancie, triple Monkey Dory the damage over to the Tatsugiri, and then use Mega Diancie to KO the next Pokemon and draw his last 2 prize cards. And then he pops off, he grabs it, throws the headset down. Yeah, he throws down the Ultra Ball like he's playing it. I mean, he knows this is how he wins the game. I'm sure Karis knows this is how he wins the game. It's possible she doesn't. Now, I will say, like, when I saw him do this, I mean, I was like, I feel like this is a little bit over the top. I feel like, you know, like, it's a big moment. It's the winning in for top cut. That is like a big point in the tournament still. So some kind of like pop off isn't like completely unwarranted, but like throwing the headset on the table, ruining the board state. He still has like 4, 5, 6, 7 actions to make here before actually winning the game. So this definitely felt like getting a little bit ahead of himself, felt a little over the top. I don't think a game loss is warranted here for Makani. I don't think a game loss is warranted from Makani. He stood up too. Yeah, he stood up. He took the headset off. Like, the game is not over yet. It is also possible, like, Karis doesn't actually realize that she can even lose here. Maybe she thinks it's just going to end up in a tie, and there's, like, no way for him to actually get the dub, whatever. The judges also might not be aware that there's a win condition here or that he's winning the game here as well. So, like, I think he definitely goes too far with this pop-off. Do I think there needs to be a game loss happening? I don't think so. I don't think there needs to be a game loss happening here for Makani. I don't think he needs to lose. Like, I don't think a game loss needs to apply. I think he should get a warning, and if something similar happens in the future, then it should be escalated. I don't believe there was any, like, previous warnings for, like, similar behavior up to this point. So that's my take on, like, what, like, I think the 2 things we can, like, speculate on for sure is just, like, did he go too far with the pop-off? And then if we think he didn't go too far, there should be no penalty. If we think he did go too far, then what should the penalty be, right? There should be something from a warning higher. Those are like the 2 things we can like guaranteed speculate on. Did he go too far? And if he did go too far, what do we think the penalty should be? So I think he went a little too far, but I don't think the penalty should be a game loss, personally. Then he sits back down, puts the headset back on, and actually wins the game with the following actions. You see here, he gets back to his table. The judge on the right there is definitely not having it, for sure. He starts to correct everything. One of the things that someone actually brought up in chat earlier that I completely disagree with is that, like, the board state did get ruined, and obviously it's at a fault of his, but it's very easy to correct the board state. And even if they were unaware of something on the board state, you just go back and look at the film and see what the board state should be. It's not that difficult to do, obviously. And sure, it's a stream match. Not every game is going to be streamed, whatever. But when you can correct things to a maximum efficiency or more effectively because you have more information, you should utilize that information to, like, recorrect board states or whatever it might be. And we have that information because it's a stream match, so no problem. So they take some time redoing this. Then obviously, like, post-match, Makani accused Karis of appealing for unsportsmanlike conduct, and Karis said she did not do that. So that whole part of that, I don't really have an opinion on because it's just a he said, she said. Makani said that she said things that pushed for a penalty based on unsportsmanlike conduct, and she said she did not say those things. So I don't really have a take on that. I don't have an opinion on that. I do think it would be rule sharking if she did say it. Like, I think that is rule sharking. I would argue that's against the spirit of the game in the situation, personally. But I don't know that she said those things, so I don't really have an opinion on that. So if you came here for my opinion on is Makani right or is Karis right, I don't know. I don't care. The only thing that we can for sure, like I said, have a take on would be he threw the headset down, and then did he go too far? And if we think he did go too far, what should the punishment be? And that's my thoughts on that there. The next clip we can actually watch in here. Someone mentioned there was 3 clips. What was the second thing? There was the double prize penalty that Karis got in game 3. But wasn't there like another thing that we can check in this VOD as well? It's obviously rude and borderline unsportsmanlike. However, Karis has a history of rule sharking like she did with Give Me 33 and even myself. Oh, I'm not going to get into that, though. I did mention this on my stream yesterday. Listen, I feel the take of it's a bit sharky goes into the fear of a lot of players have with actually saying something when they feel they should. You can say anything whenever you want, but there is also a point where it does become rule sharking, and rule sharking is against the spirit of the game. Rule sharking is against the rules. So I think it's 100% fine to talk about these things in that degree. I have seen that take a little bit recently. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not saying you're taking it from that point there, Gobo. I feel like the take of it's a bit sharky goes into the fear of a lot of players have with actually saying something when they feel they should. I think that's a really bad take because rule sharking is against the rules. You're not like, for what rule sharking truly is, if we understand what rule sharking is implied by the term, that is also against the rules in the Pokemon TCG. So I think it's good to talk about these situations and go over them and give thoughts and opinions or discuss them, so like people have a better idea of like what you should call a judge over for, what you shouldn't, or what is actually allowed within the rules. Yeah, the goal at the end of the day is for everyone to have like a fun, fair match of the Pokemon TCG throughout the tournament. And sharking is against the rules and spirit of the game, yada yada yada. Unsportsmanlike conduct is against the rules and spirit of the game, though, right? Yep, it is. Yeah. So Makani and, for anyone who's unaware, Makani and Karis did play against each other later in the tournament. And I saw like a little discussion around this. I actually want to see her shuffle. So Karis got a double prize penalty in this game for looking at her deck while she was shuffling. I think it was like specifically after. Does anyone remember the exact? I guess you can go to when the double prize penalty is live. It's actually pretty soon here. And obviously, I think like, I mean, I'm actually curious to see how she shuffles here. To be honest, we'll get a view of that. Okay, this is when it's happening here. So I think she shuffles twice during this situation. Now I will say about this though. I actually want to see the shuffle, and then I'll let Chip handle it from here, because Chip actually comes in to handle it. Yeah, so like she is looking down at her deck while she's shuffling, but I mean, this isn't like egregious or anything like that. But the problem is that she had gotten previous warnings to not do that. And you probably shouldn't do that, because if you look down at your deck, you could see cards. And depending on when they're in a situation where you want the card to be on the top of the deck, at the middle of the deck, the bottom of the deck, whatever, then you could stop shuffling or keep shuffling or whatever it might be, right? So like, I'm not saying she's cheating here. I'm not saying she's cheating. Yeah, she looks up and looks away, but then she looks back, right? She looks away, then she looks back. I can't really tell what she's looking at here either, so. And I'm not saying she's cheating here at all. I'm not saying she's cheating here at all. But the judges warned her about this to not do this, and she kept doing it. So I've seen some people say that this was harsh. I disagree. I think this is exactly what we want. I think it's exactly what we want to see for penalties. Is she was warned to not do this, to not look at her deck while she's shuffling. She received previous warnings, and she kept doing it. We want to see that be a higher penalty. Like, this is like perfect. This is what we want to see with more things in the game, I think. I think when you like play Lily and you draw a 9th card by accident, that should just be a warning until you do it enough times, and they're like, okay, we've warned you about this a couple times now. This is going to be a harsher penalty. Like, I think seeing an extra card off an Iono by accident or whatever, as long as it's like addressed immediately and everyone realizes it's happening, it shouldn't be a double prize penalty. I think it should just be a warning up to a certain point. But after you receive a couple warnings, that's where the double prize penalty should hit. And we can actually go ahead. I think Chip, and this is confirmed because we do have Chip come on the mic here.
Yeah, we'll take a quick chat with Chip Ritchie.
Chat with Chip.
What his thoughts are. How you've been feeling about this game.
Yeah, very interesting to see how this game is developing, but I do want to just hop in and give kind of an update on what's happening with this penalty situation. So it does appear like when Karis has been shuffling her deck, that she's been looking at her deck as shuffling and has been issued warnings previous to this game during this tournament. The judges noticed it once again, issued her a warning, and since she's had previous warnings, that is now escalated to a double prize card penalty. She is appealing that ruling right now as we speak, as is her right, of course. And we'll just...
But yeah, the appeal doesn't stick, and then she gets a double prize penalty. I really love this like segment where they bring Chip in to like talk about the situation, and he's like, we bring Chip in for a chat, and Chip is like, all right, here's what's happening. She's gotten warnings. So the clarity is nice as well, because like from a viewer's perspective, you see someone get like a double prize penalty in a situation where like you usually wouldn't or maybe shouldn't. So dub Chip, dub segment, dub production for sure with this situation here. More chats with Chip I think are warranted in the... Chip has the breaking news vibe. Yeah, he's like the slowpoke. So there was some discussion around this penalty over the weekend as well. I think this is warranted and fair, and this is what we want to see how penalties be handled. We don't want her to like look down at her deck one time while she's shuffling, and it's like a double prize penalty out of nowhere, right? So, and I guess we can actually go look at... I'm gonna go look at the Noah double prize penalty as well, because this thing I don't think should be a double prize penalty personally, but we'll see what people in chat think. I also just don't think looking at an extra card, if it happens like for the first time, should be a double prize penalty. I don't know if there's any other clips to look at in this VOD. This might be the last clip to look at, but I would love to see people stop thinking of appeals as overturning this ruling, please. Appeals also serve the purpose of getting more information about the ruling, even if the players doesn't expect it to be overturned. That's a very good take there, Snoopy, for sure. Yeah, appealing doesn't mean I know I'm getting a penalty and I don't like that. It's like, no, I don't think I should be getting a penalty here. Like, I think this is actually an incorrect take on the ruling, which is a really good point. Really good point for sure. Yeah. Appeals don't mean I'm guilty and I know it, but I don't want the penalty. It can also be like, I don't think I'm guilty. I think this is actually wrong. Which sometimes the judges are wrong. And you'll see that more often happen on the floor, because generally there's like less experienced judges on the floor and everything. Did Chip say that Karis got warnings in previous regionals or during this regional? I believe it was during this regional. She had received previous warnings. And then they, she did it again, got the penalty. Definitely very reasonable. Appeal on warnings sometimes works. Yeah, you can even appeal warnings as well, because the warnings will lead to more severe punishments later in a tournament. When an appeal is made, is it always referred to another judge? Yeah, another judge, always, usually a head judge, and sometimes even more than just a head judge will get involved with an appeal. It depends. Was it Karataro where the guy popped Dusclops onto the bench despite playing his battle cage? Yeah. Did he get a penalty for that? Can't remember. No, he didn't get a penalty. They just had to correct made sure the board state was correct based on how the cards interact. That was it. No penalty. If you catch something in the moment, it almost never leads to a penalty unless it's been caught in the moment an egregious amount of time. Like if you go to make a play, and is there someone above head judge at tournaments? I don't think so. I don't think anyone would have like a higher authority at, maybe for like not like in-game type situation type stuff, like whether or not someone should be like removed from the venue type situation. Maybe John Nintendo, John Pokemon, John Pikachu. Like it wouldn't be like a ruling thing where they would go where there would be someone above a head judge that would get involved. It would be like a different type situation where someone above a head judge would get involved to, and it would be like the person would have to, it would be like an out of game type situation.
It's able to be reverted.
Oops. This was the other one that happened. I want to actually go back and rewatch it and look at the situation, like see if we could, because it's like these are the type of situations where I'd prefer not to see a double prize penalty happen. So when does Makani play the Iono? So Noah has 5 prize cards. Oh, it's right here. Noah has 5 prize cards. Makani has 6. Makani draws 6 off of Iono. Noah also draws 6, but because we are on stream, we can identify which card would theoretically be on top of the deck, as well. And he does draw 6 here off the Iono. Now, assuming that Noah has like no previous warnings here, obviously we can't identify exactly which card it is because he shuffles the hand and we can't. Oh no, but they could see the hand up top actually, I think. So we could actually probably identify exactly what card it is. He hand shuffled, yeah, but they have access to the view without this overlay in the way. Also, like, it is all truly random, right? So you could just shuffle the hand and take one out of it. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. This one was super lame. Yeah, this one, these are the kind of situations where I would like to see a prize penalty not be applied unless Noah has previous warnings, which I don't know if Noah does have previous warnings. If he does, then this being a double prize penalty is obviously fine. But in these type of situations, this is where I would like to see a not have a double prize penalty happen. Like, you drew an extra card, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's all random. Just shuffle the hand, put one card back in the deck. And we're on stream, so we can do that. Maybe if you're off stream, this wouldn't be able to be fixed, which is reasonable, that we wouldn't be able to fix this if it's off stream. But because we are on stream, you know the number of cards that would have been put to the bottom with the Iono, take those aside, take the rest of the deck plus one random card, shuffle that, and then just progress from there. Or just make one of the random cards his top deck. Because in this situation, there's no way for Noah to make a decision based on what Makani does, basically. There's no card that Makani is playing here that Noah now has more information to take and make a decision based off of. So in these kind of situations, I think it would be nice to not see a double prize penalty be applied. So this one was like, felt bad, I guess, or whatever. But I think that's all the clips to go over from the day 2 VOD of Orlando. We will look at Akira drawing 3 next. He had multiple trades ready to go. He would have seen that card anyway, so I think it was harsh. Well, no, the trade, that's not even relevant. He would just top deck that card for turn, and before he had to make any decisions. He would have the information of that 6th card before he had to make a decision. There's no decision he would possibly ever have to make where that extra information matters at all. So that's why I feel like this shouldn't be a double prize penalty. Like, in my opinion, it shouldn't be a double prize penalty. Yeah, this is why I'd like to see this. Like, I think the standard for this kind of situation is, like, if we have all the information, we should the standard should either just be this isn't a double prize penalty, or it should be de-escalated in this situation. Because we're on stream, we have all the information, we can fix any board state in any way we want to, do what we think is correct, but then make it not a double prize penalty. Unless, like I said, unless he has priors. If he has warnings built up, or even a previous double prize penalty for a similar thing or something else, then that's like 100% fine. Give him a double prize penalty here for sure. Otherwise, yeah, I don't like this being a double prize penalty personally. I just want to see people play Pokemon. That's it. Like, within the rules. That's all I want to see, is just like more Pokemon being played within the rules as far as we can, up to a certain point of negligence, right? So, like once again, if you accrue enough warnings, if you make enough mistakes, the penalty should be bigger and harsher and all that fun stuff. What if Makani theoretically pop bundle? Well, they're in top cut and they have information of it's open deck list. It's top cut open deck list. So there's nothing Makani could do that Noah's not aware of. So you could, like, I think making that argument is like reasonable here. It's open deck list, and there's a castle in play. Well, no, that doesn't. I don't think that works. The castle in play. You can't. I don't think you can make the castle in play argument, to be honest, because you still have like what you send up here could matter still. So the extra information would matter. For sure. I guess he could take a... Wait, would it even be possible for him to take a knockout this turn? I guess if he got KO'd this turn... Okay, maybe there is like a line where if he gets KO'd this turn, Makani could counter catcher, yeah. I guess Makani could counter catcher. Okay, maybe there is a little bit more that Makani could do where he'd have to apply the information, I guess. Candy Guardy KO counter catcher, Noah's forced to promote with more information. Okay, I guess that is more reasonable than I thought, actually. Now that I'm like rethinking it, I guess there is things that could happen. For some reason, I thought there was nothing that could happen in this situation, but maybe I'm just wrong actually on that. Well, no, wait, did he have a Ralts in play on the previous turn, or did he get both Ralts down this turn? Was his first turn? No, I think he could actually Candy Guard here. You're right. Okay, maybe there is enough warrant for the double prize penalty here. See, this is why I love chat. Chat holds me accountable. No, that is fair. Maybe there is enough here to warrant the double prize penalty in this situation. Okay, that's okay then. I guess if there was nothing that would force Noah to make a decision, then I would like it to see it not be a double prize penalty. But if there is, then sure, yeah. That is reasonable, I guess, then. Okay, let's take a look at the Akira clip next. And this one went... I feel like this clip... I mean, with everything that happened at Orlando, I guess it's like reasonable that this clip went super under the radar. Because I didn't know about this until this morning. Like, apparently nobody caught... Well, maybe someone caught it, but I didn't see... I mean, there's so much happened at Orlando that I didn't see this one until this morning. I don't know how aware people were of this one. Y'all can see everything, right? All right, so dude, why did all of a sudden add the audio? All right, so Kieran plays Iono. What is this action that Kieran's doing before he plays the Iono? What is this? What is happening here? I'm not saying he's doing anything weird, but well, I mean, it looks weird. What is this? What? Wait, how did? Wait, what? Why does it look? What did he just do? That he's reaching under his deck like that to put him on top of his deck? Oh, maybe Akira shuffled his deck and then he's like cutting it back or something. It just looks so weird, and I can't think of an action that would like lead to this. But he plays Iono. He's looking for a way to KO this Absol, and then Akira hand to the bottom of the deck, and then Akira has 1 prize card left. Kieran has 3, and Akira draws 3 cards, and then he like immediately shuffles it. I mean, this should be a 2. This actually would have altered the outcome of this game, not necessarily the match. This would have should have ended as a win. This game probably would have ended as a win here for Kieran. Because Akira draws 3, and then Kieran has 3 prize cards and draws a prize card on the Monkey Dory. He definitely thought it was a special red card. Yeah, probably. I mean, that's what he's been playing over in Japan, so. But yeah, if this had actually been caught in the moment, then Kieran would have won the match, because it would have been a 2 prize penalty at the very least. It would have been more than that, to be honest. I actually don't even know. But 6 over to the Monkey Dory, draws 1 prize card, would effectively have 0 prize cards to draw, and then would have won the match. So, but yeah, I think it's not like that big of a deal. Like, both players know that it comes down to whether or not the Absol gets KO'd. So I definitely don't think Akira was doing anything malicious. Like, it's just kind of an unfortunate oversight. No one caught it in the moment. But this one's not that big of a deal. And it's almost like one of those situations where, like, when I look back on this, it's like, I'm kind of glad it didn't get caught in the moment, because we actually got to see the match conclude. And it, like, did not alter the match at all. So that's usually how I feel when I look back on these situations. Like, if I was, like, live watching it and I saw it happen, I'd be like, well, that needs to get caught, that needs to get fixed. But, like, if we're, like, reflecting on it, it's, like, not that big of a deal. To look back on. Yeah, I don't think Akira was doing anything malicious. No one caught it. It's unfortunate to not catch it in the moment. It's unfortunate that Akira even drew 3 cards to begin with. But looking back on it, I'm just like, it's kind of whatever. Thankfully, I mean, not thankfully, but like, it's like, it's not that big of a deal. Looking back, we're like reflecting on these situations, not getting caught. It's not that big of a deal. I have no idea what Kieran was looking for off that prize card, but another Monkey Dory apparently is not not doing it. Why did Andrew Zhang get DQ'd? We don't know for sure, but he said he's gonna make a video later, so we'll watch the video when it comes out. Okay, and then the last thing that happened in the review. This one also happened in Orlando. Yeah, way less drama. Also, if you're looking for a way apparently to, and actually I am gonna pull this up because I think it's like funny to look at in retrospect with everything that happened at Orlando with the pop-offs. If you want to make sure you pop off ethically in the future, then honestly, the Akira pop-off is like the template for that. So let's go watch the Akira pop-off here, so y'all can learn how to pop off. I wouldn't say pop off properly, but pop off safely, so you won't end up with a game loss here. Because the Akira pop-off is like super ethical. Hang on, let's go back one more. So here we go. He wins the game. Boom. Gently. Oh, here we go. He's like, can I take the headset off? Okay. Gently sets the headset on the table there. Takes out the earplugs. Gets up from the table completely. Then there's the pop-off. Clean pop-off. No headsets were harmed during the making of this pop-off. Use this as a template for your future pop-offs so you don't get a game loss or a match loss or DQ'd or whatever. Copy the Akira pop-off. This is the template for the ethical pop-off in the Pokemon space. Not even just the Pokemon TCG, because as we'll see, the pop-off penalties were not limited to just the Pokemon TCG over the weekend. As we pull up our final clip to review here. And this is honestly, this is what I think is the most egregious, like, most, this is like, in my opinion, and this has hit the mainstream, you know, people who are in the space still, and like we got like this, like he was on did an interview with like Hungry Box this morning or something, this is like the biggest deal for me from Orlando. The fact, I don't know, the fact that this is a game loss is like, so like, I guess like, this is kind of, I guess he gets a game loss here for what he's about to do, which I guess is like pretty similar to what happened to Makani, right? Like what Makani did and what Firestar did here. And maybe there's like a little bit of nuance there. Like Firestar completely finishes the match, beats the opponent, then stands up, pops off. Makani's situation was like the match wasn't done, wasn't completed. I don't know, it's kind of similar, I guess. But yeah, he gets a game loss. So they're in game 5 of the grand finals here, for anyone who's unaware. They're tied 2-2. And then Firestar here on the right is about to win. Oh, you guys can't really see the headset get thrown. He throws the headset down. Can you guys see it? Yeah, you can see it over in the top right corner. Throws the headset down. And I believe Firestar's penalty here is fully based off being too aggressive with the headset here. Throws it down, stands up. So like his actual pop-off at the end, I don't think was like the big deal. Goes over, shakes his hand opponent. And then he gets yeah, and then he gets a game loss here. It's a game loss, which leads to an effective match loss, whatever. But like, listen, I think he probably was too rough with the headset. I will say that. Like, he was probably unnecessarily aggressive with the streaming equipment. But like, but it's not to an extreme degree. It's not like he grabbed the headset and like threw it, like slammed it on the table. He just kind of like threw it off and popped off, right? If he was more aggressive with it, I could see it, right? Like if he was like really aggressive with it. And it is possible it broke as well. It is possible what he did could break it, but I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, I feel like in these type of situations, production should bring an extra headset with, and if the players break the headset, they should buy the headset. You break it, you buy it. Like, if he actually broke the headset here, just be like, all right, you owe us $200 or whatever for the headset. Just bring an extra headset with you to the event on the production side of things, and then if they break the headset, make them pay for it. Take it out of their prize money, give them your Venmo, like whatever it is, put that in. And it could happen to someone who doesn't actually end up making money at the event. So taking it out of their prize money seems a little, like that's kind of a little bit more convoluted, but like just put it in like the terms and conditions when they sign up on Arcanine and be like, if you are egregiously aggressive with streaming equipment, if you should happen to be on stream, you will be asked or forced to like, you break it, you buy it, basically type situation. Like, it's just, for something like this, he could have definitely broken the headset, but it wasn't like an egregious aggressiveness with the equipment. It just leaves such a bad taste, I feel like, in the player's mouth, the competitor's mouth, the viewers. Like, it just leaves like a bad taste in everyone's mouth, I think, to watch this clip and then see that he got a game loss for doing this. And I'm saying that with the idea that he could have definitely broken the headset, but it's just like not that big of a deal. Like, it's just make him pay for it. I'm sure he would be glad to pay for it in the exchange of having his pop off, right? Like, I think he'd be fine with that. I think it's just like just make him pay for it if he breaks it. Like, I just don't think it's that big of a deal. So this one I think is the most egregious thing to happen over the weekend for sure. Like, yeah, by far. So I hope I mean, as far as I know, I mean, the tournament standings are kind of final, so I don't think they're like really changing anything, to be honest. It'd be cool to see them retroactively go back and like reinstate Firestar as the winner, but I feel like that's kind of bad for the other competitor or for his finalist opponent. I don't know. It feels weird to like, wasn't even that aggressive. Yeah, it wasn't even that aggressive. You can't have people smashing things on the premise they can pay for it. I didn't say to smash. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a difference between him like smashing the headset and what he did. I think he was like aggressive enough with the equipment to the point where it could have broken it. And it's not something you have to advertise either. It's just like if something gets broken, be like, yeah, you have to pay for this now. You broke it. You don't have to advertise if you break it, you buy it. And yes, if you like grab it and like smash it on purpose, that should be a game loss. But he didn't do that, right? He was a little bit unnecessarily aggressive with it, and it could have broken probably, like from what he did. I think it could have broken from the way he threw it off his head for sure. But it's just not that serious. It's just not that serious. And if he breaks it, he buys it, and then we just go next. That's like at the end of the day, for sure. So definitely the most disappointing result of a judge ruling that I saw over the weekend. I don't know, because I think it's a pretty cool hype moment for him. Like, I think those moments are like his pop off is like so much more valuable to Pokemon anyways as well. like being able to use that clip and add him winning this regional in footage and videos in the future is going to be more valuable to them than a fucking headset as well. So like, it's just like, on top of that, adding that to like the argument there, maybe that's a poor thing to add to the argument, but like that's where my brain goes. It's like his emotional reaction to winning is worth so much more to Pokemon, I feel like, than the headset, as on top of everything else. So you don't want to like discourage that, I guess, is maybe what I'm thinking with that. You don't want to discourage people from having like those emotional moments from playing in their competitions. And because now, like, what is it? No one's gonna, like, everyone's gonna like, and I'm not someone to pop off myself. Like, I'm not, if I win a tournament, I'm not popping off. Like, it's just not, it's not who I am. But the people who that is them, or they have that emotion and feelings built up, you want them to express that in a positive way on your broadcast. Like, it's just beneficial for them to see it. I'm not that person. I'm not going to do it. But you're going to discourage that from other players who are those people. And those moments are like so valuable, I feel like, to have in your competitions. So discouraging that is just kind of, it's kind of lame for sure. Sometimes I think they want it to be like chess, zero emotion. I don't think they want that. I think thinking that Pokemon wants that is just like wanting to hate Pokemon for no reason. It's just that the way that the rules are being, and guidelines that they have, and the way they're being enforced is just going too far. I don't think Pokemon wants it to be like chess. I mean, dude, people have been popping off in chess too recently, I feel like. But yeah, I don't think Pokemon wants that at all. I think they want the emotional reactions to victories and wins, because they highlight them all the time in their videos, in their like hype videos, like, and intro videos for major tournaments. They want those things to happen. Yeah, they want that. They want that kind of stuff. So like discouraging it in this way when it's like not too egregious, I think is like bad. Like overall, it's just bad for the scene, basically. But yeah, that's it. That's all the clips from the weekend.